We call this the workshop because the idea is to find out what makes us more impactful, what makes you more impactful. How do you leverage the power that you have? How do you get what you want? How do you express yourself in a way that's authentic, free, and really on target? And how can you do that in a way that feels really good? Because to me, quite frankly, that is one of the most important things, that it feels right and it feels good. Because otherwise, no matter how clever it is, I just won't do it. Every call that I've held has created some amazing results for people, big aha moments, insight, shift. People came back with it, with a story that they could use. It's been really fantastic. And there's always been an interesting connection between the people coming up as well. I'm always curious to find out, like, who are these people that show up today? Why are they here? What do they really, really need? Let's jump in. Jamie, I think we've met before. Can you give me a quick intro to you?
It's Jamie Velasquez. I'm from Annapolis, Maryland, U.S. I'm new to your community.
Fantastic.
And I'm just basically interested in how to show up better as far as virtually and in groups and just collaborating with others. And I'm old time brick and mortar, face to face, in person kind of person. So I just want to learn shortcuts or the ways of being when we're in rooms and groups like this.
Beautiful. I love it. And what do you do? Are you in coaching or are you in a different country?
Yes. Yes, well, I've been an entrepreneur for 3 decades, and I've also been a consultant and now life coach. So just doing less, creating more by doing less, having been in business for so long. I don't want to work hard. I just want to enjoy the work. And I love humanity. I love humanity. I love people, and I love guiding them and supporting them to their innate wisdom. I've been very successful in my industry. In the restoration and construction business for 3 decades. A woman in a man-dominated industry, and I know what business is. So I want to help coaches or solopreneurs or entrepreneurs who are looking to um, create their own business and follow their passion and their vision. So I've done that in the real world, and now I'm launching in the virtual realm. So it's
Oh, I love
exciting.
that. It's very exciting. Welcome. Well, you are in a very good place here when it comes to, we don't want to work too hard. We want to really enjoy the ride. This is not the let's hack and get rich quick, doing the latest schemes kind of type work. But I work very deeply with people one to one, very real. When we have a doubt or we don't understand something, we actually say it. I share a lot about my personal life as well because I think it's important that we cut back on the bullshit and amp up on the real stuff, because at the end of the day, that's what's sustainable. That's why we do it. That's why we got here in the first place. So I'm excited to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm excited too.
And do you know, is there something on your mind that you think like, oh my gosh, if I could get that out of this hour, this would be incredible?
Hmm. I am open to expand.
Okay,
And so I appreciate it. And I know that I will get there. If there's something specific, I will share. Thank you so
cool.
much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Lovely. Diane, it's your first time on a call here. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Tell me, what brought you to this call today? What would you love to get out of it if you have something on your heart and mind?
Yeah, and should I tell a little background on myself?
And give us a little background because the other two don't know. Yes.
Okay, yes. Hi, I live in Dallas area. I didn't grow up here, but that's where I live now. And I met Evelyn in London at a deep dive with Rich Litvin, and she is amazing. So I saw your Facebook post this morning, signed up, went running over here, squished it in. I'm a coach for Christian women entrepreneurs, and I've been doing that for, gosh, 20 years. Before that, I was a counselor. And why am I here today? Well, I love that word impact. and I am really working hard on some money mindset blocks about selling my high ticket offer. I have a mastermind that is good and yay, but I have a deep desire to prove to myself, because really that's the only person I need to prove anything to, is that I can sell something higher than I've ever sold. And so for me, that would be anything over $15,000.
Mhm.
I want to be just gut-wrenchingly honest, because that's the only way I'm going to change. And so when I met Evelyne, I was with Rich Litvin, and we talked about my new offer is $25,000 for a year. I should be getting paid that anyway with my background and experience, and yet I have not done that yet. Right after I was with you, Evelyne, of course, you know, my father passed away suddenly.
Yeah.
And so I'm giving myself a lot of grace this year, knowing that there's been a lot of things I wasn't planning. They weren't on the vision board. And so just coming here for fresh inspiration.
I love it. Thank you. I have so many ideas for you already. Okay, great. Thank you. And then David. Welcome, David. Can you also give us a little background about you, because there are people who don't know you, and if you have something on your heart and mind that would be absolutely amazing if you could get that sorted for you today, then do let me know now. And action.
Thanks, Evelyn. My name's David Perry, and I'm originally from the United States. I live in Zurich, Switzerland now. And I was a software developer in Silicon Valley for over 20 years, and moved to Switzerland 14 years ago for family reasons. And I dropped out of tech in 2016 and started coaching in 2017. I'm a ontological leadership and life coach. I know Evelyne from one of the first Rich Litvin intensives I went to in 2020, which was not something you go to, but it was it was his first virtual intensive. So always been enthralled with your energy and your presence, and um, uh, I have been dropping things from my calendar, appointments, workshops, free workshops I don't need to be involved in, trying to, grab some more time back from my calendar for myself. And this is one I just really wanted to show up for. There are people I want to be spending time around, that's why I went to hang around Rich. There were so many coaches coming out with so many things when you become a coach, and Rich was just one of the few people I said, no, I'd like to spend more time around this guy. So yeah, I want to spend more time with Evelyne energy. And I'm coming with no expectations. I'll tell you one thing, and maybe this is probably what's driving this a little bit for me to show up, is I've done some interesting vision work in the last couple of weeks with a course that I have. And one of the things that showed up in that was that I would be spending more time speaking in front of people.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually gonna how it's gonna go, but it made sense in the vision in what I was creating there. And so one of the decisions, or one of the things that showed up on the timeline to get there, was to go back to Toastmasters. For one thing, I made a lot of progress in Toastmasters when I was in it, and I'm still a member, but I haven't been going for a couple of years. So I'm making a commitment to going back to that within the next month or two, and sticking with that more. So yeah, I want to see maybe where that conversation goes with you. Maybe that's a place to start.
I like it. Thank you very much. I remember that we did speak about this the very first time you and me connected a few years ago as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy and not surprised that that
Mm-hmm.
shows up in your vision. And
Mm.
for everyone who's hearing, he's got the voice for it, doesn't he? He's got the voice. Want to hear more? Oh, my personal assistant has entered the room. What books? Books. Okay. Can we do that after I've done my call? Because no, my daughter Momo, she's 8 and she knows what she wants. So this is the time where I get to breathe and smile. And now she disappears behind the curtain. Okay, cool. You want to hear David's voice on and what? I need to see this. Where's the chat? Get the chat up, Evelyn, and then you can see that as well. On an affirmation, yes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We will get one done today.
Mm.
The theme I can hear running through the three of yours introduction is the word commonly known as confidence. This idea that if I have this energy of, yeah, I can do anything, or I can do this, then everything is possible. It's kind of this, it's a quality of freedom, really, this confidence thing. It's not real, but when we have it, we feel great. And when we don't have it, we really miss it. So we think it's real. And if I ask you, David, what is this Evelyn energy that you want to be around? Because people often say this. They say, I want to be around your energy. It's your energy. What does that mean? What is that thing you want?
Yeah, cool. Well, so how I would describe Evelyn energy: bright, open, very expressive, uh, almost, wow, what's coming to me is like almost standing out from yourself, like really projecting into the world something. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, it does, right? Because you said
Yeah.
it. So.
Yeah.
It's so funny when we say, does that make sense? It's almost like, how would it not make sense? You just articulated something that as best as you could. We don't actually mumble jumble that much as adults unless we lose ourselves. Then we do. But darling, I will look for the book box later because I have actually organized things. Yes, thank you, sweetheart. If you close the door for me, amazing. Bless. So it does completely make sense. So what I heard is there's something about like standing out, projecting into the world, being bright and open, and you can really do with some of that. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And Jamie and Diane, you too, would you like some of that as well? Would that help you out as well? Okay, cool. And so would you agree that that is a quality of confidence when we talk about confidence? That's a part of it, right? It's part of this energy that helps us go, yeah, I can do this. I feel good in myself. I can charge 25,000. In fact, who said 25,000? I mean, 30, 50, whatever it is you want. Is this, yeah, okay. So let's see if we can transfer some of that for you, or access that in yourself, because it's not, I don't own this, right? And if I did, I'd sell it for a lot of money. But I don't own it. Everybody has it somewhere. It's accessible. It's something we access. So what we do as coaches is we help other people find the access to their own version of that. And that's really good fun. And I like that it's this kind of key. It's a key that unlocks the next thing that you want. So for Jamie, it is, Jamie, is there a particular thing that you're working on? Do you have a product? What is it that you're working on at the moment?
Yes, I do one-on-one coaching, but I'm interested in having a signature program, product where I can combine a program with coaching.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like
that
it.
would, so of course, I would love to work on having the same confidence to show up and be on the spotlight on the camera and press record.
Yeah, right? It feels really good when you can do that. And so, and the way to that for some people, they make it really, really hard that they have to learn all these lines and then methodology and how to run a webinar and how to do this and how to do that. And it takes 5 years to master this piece. And then you open Pandora's box and you have to do these things versus being in this state of mind where you literally just show up in front of the camera because you have this amazing thing to share, hit record and share it with people. And that's what I like to help people. I'm not the here's your 10 steps to eternal freedom. That all broken down in 700 steps, really, that you'll never achieve, because if you have ADHD or a life, then you're busy and get distracted. I like to be able to just be there, be with people, connect, say what you need to say. If you don't know what that is yet, let's find out and then say it. That's fun for me. And so if that's fun for you, that's the kind of way that we're working and creating here. Okay. So this energy that just allows you to do the thing. When it's there, it's great, and when it's not there, we're missing it. I'm going to ask Diane, what is this thing in the way right now of you just saying 25,000 is my price and offering it like it's a really generous offer?
It depends. So throughout the day, it's like I go on this roller coaster of sometimes I think, well, hell to the fucking yes. That's how much it should be. And I feel like I'm caught between kind of this low ticket, like I have all these low ticket people in my life, and I've done a lot of low ticket, and then I'm in a high ticket world as well. And I feel like depending on the hour of the day, oh, I need to offer more of these little doodads down here, and all this to get them rising over here. But the next hour I'm like, screw all that. I'm sick of that. I've been doing that for so long, and those are not the right people anymore. I mean, not that we never do anything like, I mean, this is free and I'm getting huge value, right? But so it's like I'm in this roller coaster with myself.
Yeah,
Of course I should be charging 50,000, 25, 100. Um, I've been in this world a long time. I've done all, I don't need to list off all the things I've done. But I've done some shit and I've survived and I have a huge resume, and so yes, it's all about what I believe here, or here, here and here.
Mm. So my question was, what's in the way?
Yeah.
And do you have a summary answer? Because I heard some.
Sorry. What's in the way? I'm in the way.
No, you're not.
No?
No, and I'm going to quote Jesus on you, like, you are the way.
Ooh, damn diggity.
Like, you are the way. You cannot be in the way. Like, this is bull to the shit. Personal development myths busted. Get out of your own way. What are you talking about? This is my life. How can I be in the way? Why is the way something different than me? You are the way. You're creating. So you're not in the way.
Okay.
If you're not in the way, what's in the way?
Sure.
Yeah, and there's no right answer, by the way, for me. Like, you don't have to, like, yes, that's right. No, that's wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I just feel when you even just now trying to answer, I feel really anxious. I feel real anxious. I feel real like I have to prove something to the world.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of trying to prove myself to the world. I'm exhausted.
Yes.
Exhausted from that.
So let's pause right there. Let's pause right there. That's good enough, really.
Yeah.
This idea that we have to prove to the world and to ourselves and to life, that itself is so exhausting that it definitely is in the way of the freedom that you're seeking. We called it confidence a moment ago, and I'm going to call it freedom.
Nice.
I like to call it freedom because I think it's much more, freedom makes more sense to me than confidence. But I'll go with any word that works for anyone. I'm like, I'll be a word whore. I'll just use whatever works. But freedom is what's underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's an anxiety that's in the way of that freedom, and the anxiety is about getting it right, proving it, not messing it up. I have to do it this way, I have to do that way. Oh, whatever I think about it. Personal development myths busted. Get out of your own way. What are you talking about? This is my life. How can I be in the way? Why is the way something different than me?
Mm-hmm.
You are the way.
Mm-hmm.
You're creating. So you're not in the way.
Okay.
If you're not in the way, what's in the way?
Fear.
Yeah, and there's no right answer, by the way, for me. Like, you don't have to, like, yes, that's right. No, that's wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I just feel when you even just now trying to answer, I feel really anxious. I feel real
Yeah,
anxious. I feel real like I have to prove something to the world,
yeah,
and I'm tired of trying to prove myself to the world. I'm exhausted.
yes.
Exhausted from that.
So let's
Ah,
pause right there. Let's pause right there. That's good enough, really.
yeah.
Like this idea that we have to prove to the world and to ourselves and to life, that in itself is so exhausting that it definitely is in the way of the freedom that you're seeking.
Mhm.
We called it confidence a moment ago, and I'm going to call it freedom. I
Nice.
like to call it freedom because I think it's much more, freedom makes more sense to me than confidence, but I'll go with any word that works for anyone. I'm like, I'll do it. So that's in the way. Yeah, I would say that's definitely something that maybe it's not the only thing, but it definitely is something in the way.
Mhm.
Um, David and Jamie, do you have anxieties in the way of your next steps and your great successes? Is that something you're familiar with? Is it just Diane?
And no, that really resonates with me. Absolutely.
Yes, it's it comes and goes,
Exactly.
and it gets a little harder to overcome when you allow too much time between all your actions. So
Well,
it
that's
basically erodes the longer you wait to take action.
Mm.
Sort of, like if you're feeling it, you're in that space and you know this is right, it feels right, you want to go through it, then that's when you should, instead of just allowing time to take you away from it later.
I hear that. And I hear that. I'm like, ooh. And that's the next thing that's in the way. This pressure that I have to use the momentum and that I can only do it when I'm in that role. Because if I don't do it when I'm in that role, I'll fall off that role. There'll be too much time, too much water flowing under the bridge, and I'm out of it again. And I said to start again. And we all know that feeling, right? And that's the idea that I have to be in a certain place or else. That produces anxiety in my body, for sure. Like, imagine what would it be like if we could be so safe in ourselves that it didn't matter how much time went past. We could just do the thing whenever. I mean, how would that be? Would you like that? I like that as an idea. And it always starts with that idea, that possibility. So now we're looking at freedom and we're looking at a certain sense of safety, feeling safe in ourselves. If you feel safe in yourself, you can do anything really, right? It's when I don't feel so safe in myself that the trouble begins. Oh, I'm not so sure how can I do this. Can I charge? In Diane's case, 25,000. And the doubts come. I'm $80,000 a year, and I'm like, yeah, right, yeah, right. And then like Jamie is like, if somebody pays me that today, then tomorrow I'm like, yeah, in fact, 85, because I'm on a roll. Let's go, go, go. And if that doesn't happen for a while, you start going, ooh, what was I thinking? What was it? So we play those games with ourselves with time as if that mattered. Why does it matter? If that's my price, that's my price. It doesn't even matter if somebody's even paid it before or not. You could choose to have it as your price. Hello, Tuffle. I'm happy you're coming up. I'm not on my call. 10 points for you for reading a book. Could you also let me concentrate so I can help these people on the call?
Calm down a bit now.
Yeah.
Can you play a bit of Pokemon?
No, not on a Monday, darling. It's screen-free Monday. Yeah. Thank you for asking and not just being cheeky. But we're getting off the screen, okay? All right. Screen-free Monday is one of the hardest things to implement. Oh, Jamie has done her magic to the beaming. This is so cool. Oh, and she reappeared with a beautiful cup. Okay. Okay, now I need to just find my thread again. Oh, Tuffle interrupting, that was sweet. I said freedom and feeling safe, and yeah, and how time gets us into this doubt thing. But it doesn't actually matter, does it? If you look at someone else than yourself, it's easier to see. It doesn't matter. So if my last client has paid me 80,000 and I want to charge 80,000 again, that's okay. If I want to create a package that's now 20,000, would that be a crime? No, that's okay. It's my business. I can do what I want. If I said from here, you know what, I want to launch a program that's more quote unquote affordable and only charge 3,000, is that okay? Yes. Does that mean I can't charge my 80,000 anymore? No, right? Because I can do whatever I want. But the question is, how do I justify it in front of me? What is the game that I play inside my own mind? Where's the permission that I give myself or take away? And that is very much based on how safe I feel in myself. If I feel like, oh my God, but nobody's going to pay me for it, nobody's going to die, oh, I'm going to starve to death because my prices are too high, then I start getting constricted and anxious, and I feel unsafe. And that's the point I'm making. When we're feeling unsafe, we get into very strange feelings, then doubts, and then behaviors. And then we create these very interesting spirals of either coping mechanisms or avoidance strategies or all sorts of stuff. And then we buy 10 online courses of people that promise us to solve the problem, and they don't. And we keep going. And it gets all really weird. Versus deep breath, finding that safety. That if I find that safety, and we're talking about nervous regulation safety, we're talking about a spiritual safety, we're talking about a deeper connection safety. When I feel that safety and I can connect that to who I am and what I'm doing, then we can play really easily. And if Diane takes a deep breath and I remind her of how successful she is as a woman and as a business owner and as a person and as a human and as a Christian, and a reminder of the time we spent in London where she really felt just how cool stuff she's created, like massive success. And then she decided, I want to do something different now. I want to go high level because that's who I am now. She could go out of this call and set up a program and just go, this is what it is. Just like that. Any time of the day. So the key is the safety. The key is the safety, inner safety. That's going to have the biggest impact for us all when we connect to that. Let's connect to inner safety. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Do you want the shortcut to inner safety?
Yes, please.
Okay. It's so simple that it's overlooked so quickly and dismissed even faster, but it is the key. And when I tell you and show you, you will probably agree with me because you've turned it many, many times. Okay, it's nothing new. It's this. Can you hear that? My microphone's not sounding it off. Breathing. It's breathing. If you cast your mind back to just a few seconds or minutes back into this conversation and just put your memory on your spotlight on how much have I been breathing? How much have you been breathing? Like when you talk about anxieties or when you talk about what you want or when you talk about what you should have, how much are you breathing? Let's do a quick check-in. Diane, are you aware of how much you've been breathing?
Very short. No. Hardly breathing.
Hardly breathing, correct. So that is correct. You have been hardly breathing. I have observed all three of you. You have been hardly breathing. And so that makes then, it makes a lot of sense that with that there are more anxiety levels. Anxiety levels are raised with short breaths. Are you familiar with the way that breathing impacts your nervous system and vice versa? Yeah. So those short breaths will send signals to your brain that you're not safe. And therefore the thoughts you're producing are around not safety. And I can promise you that in the moments that you feel inspired and go like, hell to the yes, yippee do, it comes after these big breaths, these aha, they're not they're aha moments. That's when we get inspired. Inspiration is the breath of God, right? It's the breath falling in. That's when we say yes. That's when we go like, yes, sure. So your breathing is directly related to this feeling safe and the so-called confidence. And when we stop breathing, it's much easier to fall into this anxiety. And vice versa. Sometimes the thoughts come first and then the breathing follows. But the good news is you can always reset your breathing and find more of this safety. Yeah. David, you have quite a beautiful calm as a default mode, and you've been working on this for many years, which is beautiful. So for you, it's not just am I breathing or am I not breathing? For you, it's how deep am I daring to breathe? Because you keep yourself on a calm level where you're cool as long as you're not going out and putting yourself on a limb, right? And as soon as you do that, you probably stop breathing a bit, don't like it, and go back to your cave where you breathe freely and beautifully. Yeah. So your job, keep breathing now when I'm saying that, so receive that fully. Beautiful, thank you. So your job is to go into this deep breathing, pushing yourself out on the edge. It's not really pushing, you're just stepping. And then keep breathing out there. And that's how you expand. And that is the hack towards safety when you're out there. It's becoming really conscious of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a trick, but a way of doing that consciously is also, and daringly, open your mouth when you breathe out. We often don't do that because try it now. It's quite a vulnerable thing to have your mouth open. So often when we go like, right, I'm going to breathe deeply, we do this thing. Yeah, look at me. That's not open. That's closed. Yeah, you've asked for this open energy. You'll see my mouth is often open. I'm open. And it's quite a daring thing to do and to be. Admittedly, you feel it. Like if you open your mouth and breathing out, you feel more presence. There's more of you there. There's more of you available. That means we see and perceive more of you. That has a strength and it has a vulnerability. Because when there's more of you, there's more that can be criticized or attacked or whatever. But then there's also more strength and there's less likelihood that you are criticized. It's usually the weak people who get it first, right? Okay. So that is the hack. It's not everything, but it is everything. It is, without that, nothing works. It's the foundation. Okay, so with that, let's talk about some of the things you want to do. For example, Jamie, you want to develop a signature program. Then you can ask yourself the question, okay, what do I need to have a signature program? Like I love the word signature program because I've always really adored my signature. I adored the process of finding my signature. My mother's an artist. She has the most gorgeous signature. So from the age of 7, I tried to make a signature as beautiful as my mom's. And it took me years to make my Evelyne Brink signature. And then I developed my first logo for my music thing. Like it's a big thing, it's signature for me. It's beautiful, it's art. So the idea of a signature program to me sounds very elegant, very thought out, very like uniquely you fingerprint signature. Do you already know what your signature is, Jamie? And it's
Yes,
okay if you don't, or you do. Uh-huh.
yes, yes, I've been working on it. And it's my signature program is the foundations of the human experience, the understanding of the human experience.
Oh, that sounds good. And tell me a bit about your signature. Do you have a special angle on it?
A combination of the three principles
Uh-huh.
with the understanding of who you're being.
Yes.
So we create our realities from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just creating a program where that's the fundamentals that someone who's in the program can just basically repeat watching the program as we go into our coaching, our one-on-one, something they can count on and return to and
Mm-hmm.
re-listen and guide themselves in and touch their innate wisdom,
Yeah,
just create their own insights. And so that's my idea of my signature program.
I like it. 1 second. I've got a really cheeky. This is so cheeky. My kids know when I'm on a call, my attention is on you. So, Miss Momo, I love you, and now is not the time. I know you want rewards, but you don't steal rewards, you get rewards, okay? Can you let me do my call and we could talk about that later? So cheeky. My rewards are on the shelf. They just went in and tried to sneak one, knowing that I'm like focusing on you, being like, oh yeah, yeah. She's like little hands going to the reward box. She,
Quite clever.
oh, clever. Sometimes I come in with a sweet, can I have it? Because they know I don't want to, you know, it makes a very interesting parenting experience doing this. Okay, so I hear you want to create a program around the three principles and how we create our inside out experience that people can go back to, they can always come back to. So that sounds amazing. And to make it different, signature, you, and not something, because there are three principal programs out there.
Yes,
What we'll need from you is the unique Jamie touch.
I do have one. I'm an artist. I'm a creative, innovative type of person. And I've been working on a book. It's about metaphors, and it's a great way. I use it to teach. I use it not to teach. I use it to guide my clients that are more visual.
Huh?
It just tends to bring in their senses together and have a better understanding and then share their insights from it. So my signature program is going to be bringing in that creativity, the flow of creativity as being a big part of it so that
Yeah.
they themselves can see themselves as creators as well.
Yeah. So now we're talking. Now we're talking. Because the word that came to me whilst you were speaking was stories. Like we need to hear your stories. The next thing you're telling me is you're working with metaphors. I'm like, bingo, thank you, that's right. So your stories, your metaphors brought to life by you sharing them, you talking into a camera, for example, is how we're going to get to know you and how you're bringing the three principles to life through your vessel. And this is what's going to make it really, really beautiful and really fun. So my encouragement to you, Jamie, is we want to amp up on you having fun.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and so that, well, A, for you because it's great, but also from a business perspective, so that can transfer. David, you're into three principles. Diana, do you know three principles? Are you familiar with that? No. Okay. And we don't have to go through them today, but it's quite interesting because David is quite familiar with that world as well. So you both will understand what I'm saying next. My criticism to the world of 3P is that it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of talking heads, talking very slowly, very deliberately, and long-windedly, and it's lovely to listen if you want to be calm and hypnotized. And at some point, we're like, okay, I feel dizzy. And I think it's time for individual energy to come back into that. So yes to impersonal thinking, and yes to personal energy expressing it. That's when it comes to life. And so for you to have fun and to bring it to life, that's what makes the difference. That's what will attract people that haven't been attracted to it before, because the rest, it's already been done. So I want to see your stories. I want to see your eyes sparkle. I want to see your energy come up. When you do that, that's what's going to be magnetic. Because the wisdom is beautiful. And your voice, you also have a very calm energy already. So, yeah. So it's for you, it's about telling those metaphors and telling those stories. And if you come back on a call and we'll do more impact games, well, I would love for you, if you come back on a call, when you come back on a call, have a metaphor ready that we can play with.
Okay.
And then we'll play with how to share that metaphor in different ways, bring it to life in different ways.
Yes.
We'll see what's possible there, because we can tell stories in like the same story in 3 ways, and it has completely different meanings and qualities, and it's so much fun to do that.
Stories is a way of allowing or bringing your prospect or your client into understanding the message behind the words. So
Exactly.
they get to connect on their own.
Yes,
They get to create it. So yes, I agree 100%. I
they
love
do.
stories and metaphors are definitely part of them. Go ahead.
And so that's for them. Now I'm here for you to really live yourself.
Mhm.
And your, what we call confidence and then freedom, is to come alive yourself in those stories, because this is about you creating your life and your aliveness and your impact. And so that, for me, it's even more important. Like that they benefit from it is beautiful, but really, like, I'm showing up here for you, not for your clients. They'll benefit later from it, but I want you to have this. Yum, 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 yum. You know? Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome. Diane, we went to what's in the way. We got all the way to breathing deeply. Let me check in with you. Where are you with the idea that your program is 25,000 and you can offer it?
I agree. I agree. I have a call this afternoon and I'm going to offer it.
Great. So here's the little the bridge for you. Is earlier you said, well, it should be 25,000 because I have the experience, I have this. And I remember when I met you, you had there's something about you where you explain to yourself why it's okay for you to have it. And we do, like, it's not just you, we all do that sometimes. But when we stay in that space where I'm still explaining to myself why it's okay, that's one level removed to being right in it.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
program, your program, if I'm you, I'm Diane, and my program is 25,000. I'm Evelyne, I have a program for 80,000. I also have a program for 3,000.
Mm.
That's the price. Oh, but that's a big difference between 3,000 and 80,000. That's correct. If you want full on 1-to-1 1 year VIP experience with me, that's 80,000. If you want to do my signature program called the Impact Amplifier, that's 3,000. If you go in on an early bird, you get it even cheaper. Yes, it's a pretty good bargain. But same, the 80,000, like I've not had a single client saying, "Oh, I wish I hadn't spent that."
Mm-hmm.
It's a different program. You have a different kind of access to me. So that's 80, that's 3. Okay,
Yeah.
then I do this impact call. I don't charge for that at all. And the value I deliver, you guys can put your numbers on it as you wish. But yeah, I also do that. That's right. I write books. They cost around £10, which is a joke given the amount of time they take to create. But yeah, I also do that. So it's just that's the price. A book costs this much. And a course costs this much. And a year with me costs this much.
Yeah.
It just is. There's no should.
Okay. Yeah, it just is.
It just is. You choose that price. Like we've done all the justifying work before, so we're doing the seminars. I go, well, and I've created this program at 25,000. You can have that if you want. You don't, I mean, nobody has to. Nobody's forced to pay for a year's coaching with me. If you said, hey, Evelyne, I want to coach with you, but can we do something else in a year? Then why don't we create something different? You don't have to do that. But that's a program that's absolutely awesome. That's available to you. And if you want a different program, we could create a different program. Just that's an 80K or 25K or 100K or 200. Let's talk bigger numbers so that yours looks really easy. This is my 200K offering, and this is my 25K offering.
There you go.
In fact, I would like you to make a 200K offering
Okay.
so that your 25K looks like really nothing in comparison.
Okay. There you go.
Right? What would be in your 200K offering? Put that together, have that ready. And then you can talk to people, say, look, I've got a 200K offering, I've got a 25K offering. I also have things for $150.
Right.
Look, if you buy a Porsche, how much is a Porsche?
I don't know.
David, we're relying on you here now. Oh, about 100,000. Maybe it depends on how many seats you put in. If you put an extra seat in, it's like 2 million, whatever. Right? Like 100K. But you can buy a Porsche, a baseball cap that's like 20.
Mhm.
You know, you can buy a Chanel lipstick for I think 20 or 30. I can buy a handmade Chanel dress for north of 100. Yeah, so that's there. It is. You choose, it is. And let that price be separate of your self-worth.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether today my hair is great and I'm wearing real gold, or whether today I'm wearing a cheap jumper and I'm bleeding through my underwear. The program is still $80,000 a year. And it is worth it because the transformation you will receive in it will pay for it many, many times over. But don't you think that sometimes I will still use plastic bags from the supermarket and go out the door with them, even though technically you'd expect me to wait a minute, maybe you think I have a Chanel bag. No, I don't. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The program has its worth and its price. And I am a human being, and sometimes I look great, sometimes I don't look great, sometimes I am very sophisticated, sometimes I am not. Sometimes I feel secure in myself, and sometimes I have a lot of doubts. And that is the way it is.
I love it. Hey, I got to sign off, but thank you so much, my
Pleasure.
dear. And nice to meet you, Jamie and David.
See you again soon. Bye. Have fun and good. Let me know how it goes.
Okay. All right. Bye.
You know how it goes. Lots of love. Bye. David, let's make sure that you get what you need here as well. From what you've heard, everything that you've heard, I'm sure with the other two ladies has been relatable to you, but let's see that we can personalize even more.
Okay.
How can you take what you've heard and relate it to yourself and to your situation and make what we love to call a quantum leap nowadays? Very fashionable word, quantum leap.
Well, I'll just tell you what's coming up for me, because it's kind of the thing that's been present for me, is well, noticing that as I'm creating a new way of being for myself in my business, that the old way of being is not going out without a fight.
Damn right.
So, and it's a very strange experience because, you know, um, uh, I'm not used to having so much negativity coming up inside me, and that's what's been happening. And what I'm realizing now is, yeah, because it wants to drag me back into that old place of lack of self-worth and lack of confidence and seeing myself poorly.
May I disagree with you?
Okay, please do.
You up for that? Because you know
Yeah.
I'm a rebel. Okay. So I'm going to disagree with you completely. It does not want to drag you into an old place of self, whatever you just said. Whatever you just said,
Okay.
that bad place. If you have a battery and you have I did this battery. Okay, there's a plus pole and a minus pole.
Mm-hmm.
When we take the minus pole away, what happens?
It doesn't work.
Ah, that's right. But in personal development and spiritual life, we're like, oh, I just need to be positive. I need to be this new way, not this old way. And then when we focus on the positive, and we wonder when the negative comes back in to haunt us. And then we give this negative a lot of bad rep. It has to go. It's bad. I'm good when I'm here and positive. The battery won't work. It's a different idea to think about it.
Yeah, it's a I mean, hmm.
And keep breathing.
So I get that the bad times or the negative things, it's all part of, and it's all part of life and what happens, and breakdowns lead to breakthroughs, and you can't just be in the positive all the time. So
There's that.
maybe I'll put that into the mix here, what you said. Um, so what, so, well, let me give you something very specific and see if there's anything to do with
Yeah.
this. Um, uh, People do tell me, since I've been coaching, I get this feedback. I never got this feedback before, but since I've been coaching, I get this feedback. Oh, you have very calm energy. This is,
Mhm.
it's your essence. You're with you, and you're calm, and you create nice, safe space for people. So the thing that's been coming up for me lately is all the times in my life where I lost my temper, just like my father.
Mhm. Yes.
And I feel bad about those.
Um,
I feel bad about those. I feel like I need to make amends to people or something.
well, you could do that if you wanted to. Do
Yeah.
you want to make amends?
Some, yeah, I would to at least
Yeah.
some, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, great.
yeah,
Here's what I'm hearing, David. Tell me if it's wrong. But it's almost the idea of like, because you're calm, you should always be calm. And when you're
mm,
not calm, that's wrong.
yeah,
So now you have to correct that non-calmness and just stay in that
mm.
calmness. That's obviously the good behavior. You're being a good boy, David, when you're calm. That's a good boy. But no be um and I'm teasing you a little purposefully
I
here.
know it's okay.
What if there was no right or wrong about being? What if there wasn't? I mean, what if it was okay to lose your temper even?
Mm,
That's a difficult one because I'm struggling with that myself sometimes. Because I've got
mm,
kids and I don't like the way that I yell at them sometimes.
mm,
And I hear people go like, "Oh, we don't yell at them," and I admire them. I think I should be like that.
mm,
Turns out I'm not. I'm a dragon. I'm a real dragon, and I'm terrified often, or have been, of this dragonness. And
mm,
now I'm meeting more people. It's really interesting who encourage me to embrace the fact that I'm a dragon, and I can get very loud and quite aggressive.
mm, mm,
And to those who love and know me, that they're not surprised. They give I have a certain aggressive energy in me. Are you
mm,
surprised that sometimes comes out? Because I am every time it does. But I mean, it's real. It's human.
yeah, yeah.
It's
I don't. I guess part of it is maybe this is something, for me to make peace with is I don't like how it came across from my father.
yes,
So I don't like it, right?
correct.
And I don't
Yeah, I hear
like
you.
how it affects other people when I do lose my temper.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly. So,
yeah,
so that's the piece where we're looking at it, and we're like, well,
mm,
same for me, right? I really
yeah,
don't like the impact it has on my children's nervous system, and I feel it's quite selfish. If there's a whole lot of yeah, okay, cool. So we're looking at that, and in the meantime, the more I reject my dragon, the
mm,
more I suppress my dragon, the more aggressive and mean my dragon gets because she
yeah,
doesn't have a place in the world. And possibly the more the dragon is accepted as a beingness or part of me, maybe the easier it is to be with her. I mean, it wouldn't probably be the first time that when something that's been excluded is included, it loses a lot of the
yeah, I
bite.
get it. Yeah,
Whereas with your father or my grandmother or whoever, where that came from, it was unconscious. It was never even
mm,
thought about.
hmm,
And that's the difference.
yeah,
I've been told, even with my children, they say, but if you make amends, it's actually not that damaging. If you can go back to your child and say, I'm sorry, I lost control. That wasn't okay. I apologize. Apparently, that makes it a lot better than when you thought that was a good thing to do.
yeah, yeah,
You know, I still have this thing inside me. I wish I didn't go there at all in the first place. But I'm also a work in progress, number one, and B, it might not all be about not being angry. It might be about really having a better relationship with anger. So there is that. What if we had a different relationship to the non-calm? Why is calm the holy grail now? In fact, I'm going to argue too calm's boring, guys. We're living in a very volatile world now. If you come with calm, it's lovely, it's beautiful. But if you come at me with real, I love you forever. Pick me up where I am, because I'm not always calm. So if you're not always calm, I'm like, oh my God, thank goodness I can breathe here. Whew. Right? So you could come at me with this, start aggressive and then lead me into calm would be far more valuable than somebody who is calm all the time and cannot be rattled. I had a boyfriend once who was always calm. He drove me bananas, and I drove him bananas until he freaked out. My little devil came out, right? Yeah, Jamie, yeah. Be real. The real is I'm not always calm. You're not always calm. Sometimes I lose my cool. You will lose your cool. That's right. And I don't want to be a perfect human being anymore. It's not even my goal. It's not even my goal. How is that? And if you say,
Yeah.
hey, Evelyne, you're calm, that's a great. People think I'm open and confident. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm also very insecure and closed and talk to nobody for days. But I'm also cool with that. And I no longer have to be one or the other. Thank goodness. So much easier. So I have both.
Yeah, it's a great relief when they started talking about extroversion and introversion being on a spectrum, and then you could say, oh yes, I can be one or the other. I don't have to label myself as one, right?
Yeah. And we
Yeah,
can swap around, you know, and all that stuff. Like, as soon as we get limited, it's very difficult for us.
yeah, I hear you. No, that's good. I appreciate that
You're welcome. Yeah.
very
Keep
much. Yeah.
breathing. And also, by the way, if we keep breathing, it's much easier to stay calm, I found out.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the oldest kind of meditation is focusing on the breath, right? So
The thing you forget when you have children that are really kind of get to you, or not sleeping, or whatever it is. Doctors saying things that you don't want to hear too often.
yeah.
So yeah, okay. Jamie, did you get what you needed today? I know it's the first time in my community, but I'm gonna treat you like an old friend.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I did. That and more. I appreciate it. And
What are you taking? What are you taking away from it? Sorry to interrupt.
no, it's okay. It's a lot of it is reconfirming, revisiting those fundamentals that we tend to forget because we get lost in other emotions. And I think um, um, it's beautiful to just experience all of them because they make who you are. They're part of you. So I love your input with David. I believe that we can embrace it and allow it to be. It is part of us. And sometimes I just got to stop and think what I'm saying because I do get a little in my head, but I feel that when we acknowledge that it's part of us, we don't resist it anymore and it doesn't become that such of a strong grip. And I've been experiencing that this week where I went back to old habits and became so aware of them that I was able to just observe the way I was either reacting or responding, and I get to stop at the moment and welcome that behavior, but also allow it to just go rather than why did I do that and resist it and then just fall into this mental chatter and so on. So thank you. I do appreciate you and David and I think your name was Diane, right?
And yes,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you so much for joining us. I really appreciate that as well. And to get you more into your body is a really, really, really healthy tool that also gets you more freedom, also gets you more confidence. Is exactly the thing that we want to practice when we are, well, practicing is the word again, our impact and our confidence in the world when we speak. So next time, I would love a story from you, and then we're going to play with getting really rooted in your body
Sounds
and
good.
see what we can tickle out of you there. Because yes, I have ideas for you. So I look forward to doing that.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. David, what are you taking away?
Accept the dragon.
Hmm.
Well, and I'll create my own name. That's the dragon is your name. So I'm going to think about this concept and I'm going to look for that. And like Jamie was saying, I think the thing um, that that I work on and that I see is be able to see it and accept that it's there, but not having to act on it. And okay, yes, we accept when we're not perfect, and sometimes we act on it. Um, but the battery, I've got the battery here. I'm thinking about the battery, and can I keep that in mind?
I like that.
It
Well,
only works with both positive and negative at the same time.
that's the one. So your homework, if you choose to accept it, will be to create a 2 minutes piece on this inside, talking about it, and
Okay.
in your beautiful, calm voice, and record it.
Okay.
'Cause I think we would all love to hear it.
All right. I'll see what I can come up with.
See what you can come up with. No pressure. Just talk about that. But it's this how we create that space in ourselves to accept ourselves. It's like you have that battery. Well, it doesn't work. Da, 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 da.